Computer. All right, good morning, Hornets, and welcome to our School to Watch professional development. This is going to be a really enlightening experience for us because it's an opportunity for those of you who have been Hornets before to really reflect on the awesome things that we've done and the awesome things that we will continue to do for our students in order to impact middle school reform in North Carolina. So I'm here with Ms. Lynch. Ms. Lynch, let's talk just a little bit about yourself and let's get started.
Good morning, Hornets. I'm here supporting Ms. Perry as we move forward into the School to Watch process of applying for that honor and helping you all become familiar with the process itself and what we are looking for.
All right, so with that said, I'm going to share my screen. So as you can see here, we are working to be a school to watch. We believe we already are a school to watch, and that it's our time to make sure that everyone else understands that we're a school to watch. So ARMS is a school to watch. That gets me extremely excited because as you all know, you guys work very hard every day for our students. And there's so much bragging that I can do about the people and the students at Albemarle Road. I think it's time for us to take our recognition to the next level. So the School to Watch program is a national and international copywritten program that basically puts accolades on those schools who are really making an impact and really putting their footprint in the work of middle school reform. So we see Albemarle Road as being a school to watch already. And for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that every year we continue to get better. And that's always a goal that we all have, we all share. And from the beginning of my principalship, you may not have known it, it was always an interest of mine to become a school to watch at Albemarle Road because we have so many different community perceptions and so many different ways that people think we are until they walk in our school. And that's one of the things I brag on our school about often is that no one leaves our school unimpressed. Say what you want to in the community, but if you show up here at our school, you won't be unimpressed. And so I'm really excited about this opportunity for Albemarle Road Middle School. Again, it was on my brain in 2011, 2012, and now I'm hoping that we'll be able to bring it to fruition in 2021. So with that said, I want to talk to you a little bit more about what is the School to Watch. As mentioned, it's a copywritten protected program, and it's all focused on the national forum. It's all focused on the reform of the middle school programming. And so that is what we are looking at. Just what are the things that we're doing to continuously improve our school. And I hope that during the week, you've already heard a few things that are going to help us to continuously improve. And those things are focused on things that we know need to happen next, as well as ways that we've already gone into this rubric to determine the things that we need in order to help us more align or better align to the Schools to Watch rubric. So we're going to watch a video real quickly. We're just going to watch a portion of the video, but while we watch, I want you to listen to the descriptions of the schools that you are seeing who were in 2019 designated as North Carolina Schools to Watch, and jot down any things that you believe we share with some of those schools, because there might be a perception that Albemarle Road can't be a school to watch for whatever reason, but I want you to highlight what are the similarities that you see so that it can become even clearer to you that we actually already are a school to watch, and we're going to make that happen for us this year. So we're going to listen for just a few moments, and again, you're jotting down things that we have in common with these schools.
Lowe's Grove Magnet Middle School, Durham, North Carolina. Principal, Takesha Mitchell. Lowe's Grove Magnet Middle School is an urban STEM school of technology with 640 students in grades 6 through 8. Innovative strategies include a multi-tiered support system, interactive notebooks, differentiated instruction, social contracts, and restorative justice. The school and district provide instructional practice training to all teachers who share best practices in professional learning communities and faculty meetings. Each teacher actively participates in school committees. Among other goals, school committees review, revise, and suggest strategies for school improvement and development of the school improvement plan. The Student Government Association gives students a voice on campus. The school's vision is to become a place where all children learn at high levels and leave fully prepared academically, socially, and behaviorally to graduate from both high school and post-high school programs.
Midway Middle School, Dunn, North Carolina. Principal Kevin Hunter. Midway Middle School is a rural school of 605 students in grades 6 through 8. Teachers meet on a weekly basis to plan instructional strategies to meet the needs of their student population. Through the use of data meetings, they are able to diagnose areas for continuous improvement. Interventions are planned throughout the year during their 9th block to enhance the educational outcomes for all students. The school improvement team consists of faculty and staff from each grade level. These members gather input from their peers to assist in providing insight to the development of the school improvement plan. Surveys are used to utilize and gain student perspective to give them a voice in their educational experience. According to the mission of Midway Middle, the staff, in collaboration with home and community, will create students who will become critical thinkers, positive citizens, and contributing members of the 21st century world.
West Alexander Middle School, Taylorsville, North Carolina. Principal Dr. Chad Maynard. West Alexander Middle School is a rural school of approximately 600 students in grades 6 through 8. The school has a dedicated, hardworking staff that is committed to doing what is in the best interest of their students. The mission statement of the school says, "A community of lifelong learners will be created by encouraging students to learn, achieve, and reach success." The staff uses a multi-tiered support system to provide flexible and heterogeneous grouping, enrichment and remediation opportunities, at-risk identification and support, and behavioral interventions in a developmentally responsive environment. A learning-focused schools framework to a classroom instruction provides research-based, developmentally responsive, and engaging instruction, which allows students to excel academically at all grade levels. Strong community support, collaboration among the key stakeholders, and a dedicated staff who are committed to a trajectory of excellence make West Alexander Middle School a great place for students to learn and grow into responsible young adults.
Chase STEM Academy, Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, so we hope that you had an opportunity to jot down some of the things that you saw that were in common with our school. We're going to go in just a moment. You'll get an opportunity to look further into one particular school who looks very similar to ours. But we wanted you to see that all of the schools that are participating in School to Watch, they don't fit one particular school mold. They are a variety of types of schools, a variety of demographics of schools, a variety of sizes of schools. And so any school can be a school to watch if we focus.
So currently in the United States, out of 18 states that are participating with the National Forum, there are 465 designated schools to watch across those 18 states. In North Carolina, there are 37 schools to watch. On the next several screens, you see the name of every school in North Carolina who is currently a school to watch. It could be that this school is newly designated, like the ones that you saw in the video. It could be that some of these schools have done their redesignation process, which comes every 3 years. We are fortunate enough in the state of North Carolina that we have schools that have redesignated up to redesignation 4, which means they have been able to sustain a school to watch trajectory of improvement for 12 years. The schools that are in blue are linked to resources that you can go back to this video and click on, or actually go back to the slides in the Canvas course to click on, that will take you to a PDF version of the school that gives you information about them. We're going to take just a minute to look at Carrington Middle School in Durham. Carrington Middle School was originally designated in 2013 and then went through the process and redesignated again in 2019. In 2019, Carrington Middle School had also changed their designation with the state and had become a Title I school, which they were not previously in 2013. If you look at the information that is shared in this PDF document, you can see that their school enrollment is 915. They serve the same grade level. They are a traditional calendar. They have a 70.7% free and reduced lunch population. Their English language learners are 10.9%, and their students with disabilities are 12.7. Even though these numbers are a little lower than what ours are, we have very similar numbers when we look at and break down our demographics. Also in this school, you'll notice that they are very diverse, as we are, with over 70% of their population being non-white, Caucasian making up only 16.7%. Again, very similar to our school with the diverse needs that they come into and the culture that they have that also is part of what they highlight in their program. On the remainder of the PDF, you'll see that they break down for you things that they feel like are their strong suits, each of the 4 domains that we will talk about later.
So why is Albemarle Road a school to watch? Because there's nothing that we will stop at to make sure that our students get exactly what they need. And that is exactly what this is all about. We're going to go further into the domains of the school to watch rubric in just a moment, but we're a school to watch because we are putting our foot in each of those domains. And so we're going to look further into what are the things that we know we are doing, and then elicit some feedback from you guys about where you believe we are in regards to our school to watch self-evaluation. So here are just a few pictures from our last year.
So ARMS is a school to watch, and now we're going to ask you to help us prove it. So providing evidence in the application process, as well as during a possible visit from a team, is part of the process that goes about in order to recognize the great things that we're doing. There are 4 domains that the school to watch rubric or process asks each school to identify their evidence in as they meet the needs of students. We're looking at academic excellence, and this is a trajectory towards improvement of academic excellence, developmental responsiveness, and thinking about the adolescent and how we meet the individual and varied needs of students within our diverse culture, social equity, which, as you know, is strong at Albemarle Road, and making sure that equality is part of that. And then organizational structures and processes and how we have our day-to-day routines set up and our expectations, our courses, etc., in order to, again, meet the needs of students. Everything here is about the student-centered part of what each school does.
So academic excellence is, well, is the descriptor. High performing schools with middle grades are academically excellent. They challenge all students to use their minds well. And I know, and you know, that we work really hard on our academic program at Albemarle Road. We are professionally developed often. We spend countless hours making lessons, the perfected lessons that we'd like our students to engage with. We are interacting with students for continuous improvement, getting feedback from them. At Albemarle Road, 2 things that we know help us to become academically excellent is our IB program, with all of the components, from the standards aligned unit planning to the way that we issue our summative assessments to the GRASP, which highlights the relevance of those assessments. The IB program and many of its components really do encompass what academic excellence looks like. And we have become pretty proficient at our IB program. So we're really happy about where we are right now with IB, recognizing that there is continued growth to make. we're in a very good place with IB. And so our IB program is one of the things that helps us to be academically excellent. The second thing is our teacher leadership program. So this year we have the opportunity to have 9 people on our staff who are being compensated for their excellence in academics. And unfortunately, with our teacher leadership program, it is limited to only EOG tested areas, because we all know that there are many folks outside the EOG tested area who, if it were available, would be in this category as well. So we believe that our teacher leadership program and the IB program are just 2 examples of things that make us academically excellent.
The second area of developmental responsiveness has the definition or qualifier of high-performing schools with middle grades are sensitive to the unique developmental challenges of our early adolescents. And this is middle school in general, just recognizing the fact that these are difficult years for students, but providing the support so that they don't just go meandering through this time without being able to navigate it successfully. At ARMS, 2 very strong pieces of evidence that we have that we are developmentally responsive comes from our amazing student services department and everything that they come to offer with students, not just counseling, but things like the Latin Block Party, the African American or Black History Month program, our International Night, which also comes from our L program, the events and things that they do in the mall, running our Hornet Ambassadors, etc. And the services that they solicit from outside that they bring into the school in order to help students with individual needs, counseling needs, our McKinney Vento program, etc. Also, we have moved forward in the last few years with our One School, One Book program, which also helps us to focus on the developmental challenges of early adolescence by picking books that we focus on that have characters that have similar struggles and are of adolescent age, and making sure that we look at self-management techniques and other ATLs that we can highlight in order to analyze what those characters are going through and then bring it back to the actual connection of our students and how they would approach certain scenarios, how they react to certain things, and giving them those tips. So those 2 programs, ARMS, are just 2 examples of developmental responsiveness from Albemarle Road Middle School.
The next one is social equity, and this one is high performing schools with middle grades are socially equitable, democratic, and fair. They provide every student with high quality teachers, resources, learning opportunities, and supports. They keep positive options open for all students. So some of the things that we are doing already to help us to ensure social equity for our students, one is our academic enrichment block. And we know that we use our academic enrichment block for multiple reasons. One is, as Kim was just mentioning, is for our One School, One Book program to help us to teach self-management, social awareness, those kinds of things. But we also keep it open so that we have a place for things like clubs, a place for things like jazz band, which will happen this year, a place for things like intervention. So our academic enrichment is that place where we know we've got opportunities for all students to have what they need based on what their needs are. And I hate to say it that way, but in one way I might need some academic support. In another way, I might need some social support. And our AE helps us to push those things in. Many of the AE lessons that we delivered last year were really highly focused on social equity and emotional learning, social emotional learning. So those things are important to us, and we'll continue to highlight those things. The second thing that we're doing for social equity is making sure that we offer multiple parent sessions. So as you remember, at least in the spring, we did multiple parent sessions. One would be in English and one would be in Spanish. The English ones were usually led by me, and the Spanish ones were led by Ms. Delgado, with Ms. Lucero supporting those. That is to make sure that we are able to reach the preponderance of our parents and not just the ones who are English speaking or just the ones that have time at that time. This year, we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to offer monthly virtual opportunities for our parents to engage with us so that they have their questions answered and they are feeling more a part of our school.
The final domain that we are asked to provide evidence for is organizational structures and processes. High-performing schools with middle grades are learning organizations that establish norms, structures, and organizational arrangements to support and sustain their trajectory toward excellence. At ARMS, this is definitely something that we have in place, but two of the examples would be our instructional guide, the information that has been provided for teachers and used by teachers in order to organize their daily lessons, our unit planning, things like frame the lesson and our do nows and the purpose of each one of those in order to make sure that each lesson is given in a structure and a process that allows students to be successful. In addition, the other piece here would be our TLAC strategies. Our school is very much a teach like a champion school. We use the threshold, we use the be seen looking, we use all of those additional strategies in order to make sure that the culture in our room, that we are culturally responsive, in addition with restorative practices and caring schools and things like that that we have in place, again, is all set up to help students be successful in their academic career as well as feeling safe in the environment that we have.
All right, so now we're going to show you just an example of a piece of the rubrics, but you'll know what your task will look like. So you're going to look at the self-evaluation rubric for schools to watch, and it's going to require you to determine whether where we are ranked, and that's going to be from a 1, which is going to be low implementation, to a 4, which is high implementation. Keeping in mind that we're going to rank all of our areas a 1, 2, 3, or 4. However, if you see that we do not have an indicator, leave it blank. You don't have to mark low implementation on something that we're not doing. This is an example of what one piece of the rubric looks like. This happens to be academic excellence in the very first criteria. So as you can see here, there are 3 examples of criteria that are listed, and then 1 general criteria. So first, in order to complete this rubric, I'm going to look at the detailed example first. And I'm going to look at expectations are clear for students and parents. I would choose that to be a 4. I know that at Albemarle Road, we have very clear expectations. The second one is that teachers provide students with exemplars of high quality work that meet the performance standards. And I know that we do an excellent job of that on our assessments, our summative assessments. I'm not sure that that happens in places outside of summatives all the time. So I'm going to rate that as a 3. And then the last indicator, or the detailed example, is going to be that students revise their work based on meaningful feedback until they meet or exceed the performance standard. So this goes into that idea of not yet. And I don't know that we have yet mastered the not yet thinking. So I'm going to rate that as a 2. I know that this happens for some people, but it is not consistent across our school. So overall, I'm going to go up to the general criteria, which reads all students are expected to meet high academic standards. Look at my ratings. I'm going to put us at an average of 3. And then in the box, I'm going to write a 3. Now, your form, you are not going to be required to write on a form, but this is the thinking that needs to go into how you answer the questions on the form that you do have. All right, so your next steps. You are going to have a Google form posted in the assignment you're going to have an assignment posted in the Canvas School to Watch module. It's going to be a Google form. And that Google form is going to ask that you respond to each of those general and detailed domains that we just went over with you. There will be multiple for each domain. You're going to use the self-evaluation rubric to reference. So you won't have the rubric on the Google form. You're going to be looking at the rubric on your own page. This is going to be due on Friday by 5 o'clock. So that's going to be your next task. I am going to ask you not to deliberate on your choices. Look at the rubric, look at the criteria, determine where you believe we are, and make a choice. This is not something that I expect to take you an extremely long time, because I do want it done by Friday at 5 o'clock. But it's important that you go with your gut on each of these ratings, because that will help us to best determine what our actual next steps are in making sure that we do become a school to watch.
Following your self-evaluation rubrics that you will submit to us, the school will take the following steps. We will complete the written application in order to give a narrative to provide evidence that supports each of the 4 domains that you will be evaluating on your self-evaluation rubric. This written application has to be submitted electronically by September 1st of this year, and then will be evaluated by a team that is trained to evaluate the applications and decide the next steps from the process, which could be providing us feedback of what we need to continue to do, or hopefully, as we are sure is going to happen, it will be a visit from a team in order to come in and see specific examples of the evidence that we provide.
All right, so we want to thank you for listening today. We hope that you have gotten excited about our opportunity to be a school to watch. This is an extremely important opportunity for me, because it does have the opportunity, this is the chance for us to continue to shift our community perception. And I think that this is one of the things that is important to our families, it's important to our district, and it would be very important to me if we were able to be a school to watch. And I think it would make us all feel even a little, stick our chest out a little further about being a Hornet. So we are going to make it count. And if you have any questions, you can certainly feel free to contact Ms. Lynch or me. We will help you. It is not discouraged for you to confer with someone else as you complete your Google form. That's certainly okay. But each person, each individual will need to submit their own Google form for this assignment. We appreciate your time, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day.